Michael Jordan fans are getting ready to say goodbye again. While the most famous athlete in the world retired back in 2003, he's been in the headlines again thanks to a new 10-part documentary series on Netflix that will soon end its run of episodes. The new Netflix and ESPN series called The Last Dance has chronicled one of the greatest sports icons in Michael Jordan and one of the most successful teams in sports history, the Chicago Bulls, team of the 90s. Netflix will release the last 2 episodes of the 10-part series this Monday. Well, I'm now joined by Mike Tollin. He is the executive producer, one of the executive producers of the series. Mike, great to have you on the program. This is an incredible series, certainly capturing the attention of the world all over again. Talk to us about how your team was able to pull this whole thing together and gain such incredible access. The footage is unbelievable.
Well, it's 23 years in the making. In 1997, NBA Entertainment realized that history in the making was about to unfold as the Bulls were going to go for their 6th title in 8 years, and there was infighting, as we've seen in the early episodes. Phil Jackson, the coach, was arguing with Jerry Krause, the general manager, who said to him, "Phil, you can go 82-0 and you're not coming back as the coach." So a field producer named Andy Thompson, who was actually Klay Thompson's uncle, went to the head of NBA Entertainment, Adam Silver, who's now the commissioner of the NBA, and they conspired to go to the Bulls with the idea that they should document this season. And they agreed that if Michael and the rest of the Bulls management didn't agree to distributing it in a certain way, then they would just keep it under wraps. So, you know, it might just be the best, most well-kept secret stash of home movies ever. It took, well, almost 20 years for Michael finally to agree to participate. And so it was my production company, Mandalay Sports Media, together with the NBA, together with Jump Inc., which is Michael's partners, Esty Portnoy and Curtis Polk, and ESPN and Netflix. So it's a crowded kitchen, but we managed to make it work.
You did, and all the important chefs in the kitchen on this one, I have to say. But talk to us about Michael Jordan. His stats are just incredible. 6-time NBA champion, 5-time MVP, 14-time NBA All-Star. I mean, it is an incredible recipe there, all wrapped up in one individual. Yeah,
there's so many stats. You pick some good ones. Let me take a stab at some others, if I may. Talk about load management. We hear that all the time now. Kawhi Leonard, of course, and Joel Embiid and some others. Michael Jordan played all 82 games in 9 seasons. His last season at age 35, he played all 82 games and played 39 minutes a game. He averaged 30 points a game in the regular season, 33 points a game in playoffs. He made the all-defensive team 9 times. In all 6 of those championship series, he was the MVP. I'll stop there, sorry, because it goes on forever. But I think the secret may be that in addition to his extraordinary, unparalleled physical gifts was his mindset, his mentality, his ability to be so focused and so, as he's talked about at length, his incredible intensity and competitiveness and will to win. And he just elevated his players to go there with him.
You know, we really take for granted sort of what you see on the court and how things are played out in every game compared to sort of what happens behind the scenes. One of the biggest revelations in this series is what we didn't know about Michael Jordan as a teammate. Before you answer, I want to roll another clip for our viewers here.
Great.
My mentality was to go out and win at any cost. If you don't want to live that regimented mentality, then you don't need to be alongside of me, because I'm going to ridicule you until you get on the same level with me. And if you don't get on the same level, then it's going to be hell for you.
Why you keep up that play, you big fat head? You should have laughed, you dumb.
People were afraid of him. We were his teammates and we were afraid of him. And there was just fear.
Catch the ball when I throw it to you. I just threw it to you.
Ignore this guy. He's come through, but he's overplayed.
The fear factor of MJ was so thick.
Yeah, let's not get it wrong. He was a jerk. He crossed the line numerous times. But as time goes on and you think back about what he was actually trying to accomplish, you're like, yeah, he was a hell of a teammate.
Mike, talk to me about what his teammates thought of him as a player, as a person.
Well, Scotty Burrell obviously got the brunt of it there, but, you know, you see the motivation is about, like I said earlier, to just bring them up to that level, right? He said, I never asked my teammates to do anything that I didn't ask of myself. And when Scotty Burrell scores 23 points to win a playoff game against the Nets, he thanks Michael, and he realizes that he wouldn't have gotten there without Michael. Every one of those guys that used every one of those adjectives or noun to describe Michael will thank Michael at some point and acknowledge that he made them a better player and recognize that, you know, out of those 6 titles, how many would they have won without Michael? Maybe 0. You know, there's a point at which somebody asked Steve Kerr, you know, why are the Bulls so famous and why are they so successful and what makes them different? And he thinks for a minute and sheepishly goes, well, because we have Michael. So I think it's interesting to see how emotional he got after the end of episode 7, talking about that, because he's been so misunderstood for so many years.
Yeah, certainly. I don't want to run out of time here. We have so much to talk about, but we've just got a little bit of time left. I want to talk about General Manager Jerry Krause's relationship with the team and what we see unfold in the documentary.
Well, he famously said, you know, players don't win championships, organizations do. Now, he said that the real quote was players alone don't win championships. We'll never know the truth about that. But that was really, you know, one sore spot. There were a lot of people who just felt like Jerry wanted more credit than he was being given. And so he would engineer some moves that might not necessarily be in the best interest of the team, but it asserts his will. The bottom line is, he's a Hall of Fame general manager. He's the architect of a team, arguably the greatest or one of the 2 greatest dynasties in the history of the sport, if not all sports. He was spectacular at his job. And what Jerry Reinsdorf, his boss, said was, I didn't hire Jerry to go to dinner and be friends with people. I hired him to make winning teams. And on that basis, he was an absolute success.
Now, of course, none of this would have happened without Michael Jordan's approval. As you say, this vault of incredible footage and interviews and whatnot, just sitting there for over 20 years. The last 2 episodes now are going to be released, Mike. What's in store for viewers that are so glued to the screen on this?
Well, in episode 9, there's going to be a great little gem of a backstory about Steve Kerr. One of my favorites. He was, of course, Michael's teammate for the last 3 championships and then became the coach of the Warriors when they broke the Bulls' record for regular season wins. So he's intersected in a lot of ways. Very articulate, and he talks about a personal tragedy. You'll see some of the epic trash talking between Michael and Reggie Miller. You'll see 2 series between the Bulls and the Utah Jazz, who were in the finals in both 97 and 98. And you get a little insight into the other side of Michael, his mindfulness, his presence, his focus. You see him actually relaxing in a practice, and a lighter side of Michael, staging a little long-distance shooting contest and actually having some fun with his teammates. So there's a lot of dimension to Michael, which we reveal here at the end.
Was he happy? Was he happy with this series? I've got like no time left here, but everyone wants to know.
Yes, he's pleased with all the episodes. He didn't edit or censor anything out. I think he's very happy with the way it turned out.
Well, then you got 2 big thumbs up there. Mike Tollin, executive producer of The Last Dance. The final 2 episodes of The Last Dance air this Monday on Netflix. Mike, it's been incredible chatting with you. It's an incredible documentary. A lot of people looking forward to it. You and your family keep safe. Take care.
You too. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.